Well, I've been singing my whole life, as long as I can remember, and I just thought that this would be a cool opportunity to show the world what I got and my story and just, I don't know, share the music. Well, I was really hoping I would get Kelly. I've listened to her music my whole life, really. I've aspired to be her, to be honest. But like, I remember just listening to her. I actually auditioned for my school with one of her songs. I think I said that in my blind too. I got to mention that, and she actually was like, "Oh, like, what song was it?" And I said, "People Like Us." And she was like, "Wow, you must really be a fan," because that wasn't even a single of hers. And she just talked about how like that was such a cool song for her to sing, because it wasn't even her song, but the fact that she was the vessel for that to share the message. And she asked me to sing it with her, and I sang it, and she sang along, and it was so cool because I got to sing with Kelly Clarkson on stage, and it was just so surreal. It was really surreal. Adam also turned, and he's very persuasive. It was a close one. It was really close, but my gut went with Kelly. Well, a lot of my life I've just kind of really loved storytelling, and like as a songwriter I've aspired to be someone who just tells stories, even not about myself, but I've tried to like hone in on that, and I'm still working on that, and that's what I want my music to be like, you know, just like encompassing a story and telling that story through my words and how I sing a song. But she's kind of telling us that same thing too, like when you sing a song, if it's broken and you mess up a little bit, like that's okay. Like it's telling a story, and just like knowing that she's someone who's gone through so much, we know that what she's saying is accurate, like so accurate. I'm young and I have my whole life ahead of me, and I've gone through some stuff, you know, but I'm still at a place where my life has only just begun, and I feel like getting to work with Kelly at this point in my life where I'm about to graduate and my life is just going to take a 180 with this show, I hope, and I don't know, it's all still surreal for me, like I said, but
The blind auditions were crazy. It was like the most epic moment of my life that I've experienced. It was absolutely incredible. It was nerve-wracking. It was amazing. It was purposeful. It was everything that it should have been and more. It was one of the best moments of my life. Being on Team Kelly is the best team that I could have picked. Being on Team Kelly is the most amazing thing. Kelly, for one, is a legend in herself. So to learn from someone who's not only been in our shoes, but also has, you know, the background and the information of building her own brand and her own career that she can share with us, it's been valuable. I don't know how else to describe it. Kelly is a wealth of information and just a joy to work with, and I'm just so excited to be working with her. Kelly Clarkson and I are basically the same person. I don't know if she knows it yet, but we're both super silly. We like to have fun. It's positive vibes only, and we both sing our faces off, so we're pretty much the same person.
I wanted to audition for The Voice to showcase my talent to the world. You know, I've been singing my whole life, and I have a talent from God, you know, and not to sound cocky or anything, but like, you know, I'm very, you know, confident in that part of my life. You know, it's really the part where I feel the most comfortable, and I feel, you know, that I do the best I can. And so I just wanted to showcase that to the rest of the world, and here I am. The Blinds was the best day of my life. I got 4 chairs, they all turned around for me, and I got a block. Kelly blocked Alicia, which is funny because I sang an Alicia Keys song, If I Ain't Got You. And she turned around, but it said blocked on the floor, and I was bummed. I definitely was bummed because I've been, you know, listening and looking up to Alicia Keys like ever since I found out about her, you know, at a kind of a young age, and so I was a little bummed, but it was cool that she turned around, and it was really amazing that Kelly, you know, wanted me that much that she used her only block, you know, on me. You know, having Kelly as my coach is pretty amazing. You know, she's the Kelly Clarkson. She's been through this before, and she knows what it takes to like go through this process. And I think it's very powerful that she's my coach, you know, and she's given me some good pointers and you know, to open my eyes more when I sing, because I kind of close my eyes a lot when I sing because I just get really into it. But, you know, opening my eyes when I sing, it gives it a whole new perspective. And
I auditioned for The Voice. Honestly, I didn't expect myself to be here. It was kind of on a whim, and I feel like The Voice is such a fantastic platform for musicians. I feel like they take us seriously here, and we have a unique opportunity to work with coaches, and that's the reason why I picked it.
Okay.
My musical journey started off really young. I was fortunate enough to have parents who played music the entire time as I grew up. My dad plays guitar. He was all self-taught from a very young age, and so I grew up listening to every style of genre, listening to Bob Marley, you know, the Beatles, Earth, Wind & Fire, just everything. And so I feel like it really set me up at a very unique situation to learn all styles of music. I was classically trained. I studied musical theater. I studied pop, R&B, jazz. I kind of did everything because I had a love for all style of music. I didn't go to a performing arts high school. I went to a normal high school, and I was known as the national anthem girl. I did singing competitions wherever I could, and then eventually working hard enough to kind of find my genre, find my style, and I wound up getting a full ride to Berklee College of Music. I got the Lollapalooza scholarship, which is a rock scholarship. The day of the blinds was, I still feel like I don't remember it, to be honest, just because being on stage, it's like you black out. I was so nervous. I felt really determined about my song. I felt really excited about the performance that I was gonna do on the stage, and I wanted to, honestly, I just wanted to leave everything on that stage, and I felt like when I walked out, Kelly was the first one to turn around, which was amazing. I've been listening to Kelly Clarkson since I was like a child, and so to see my idol, someone who I've looked up to my entire life, turn around for me was just, I was speechless. And then at the very end, Alicia Keys turned around for me, so I have these two vocal powerhouses staring me in the eyes, believing in me, and seeing myself as someone who could go far on this show. And it was just, it's surreal. I smile, I grin every time I think about it.
So
I wanted to audition for The Voice because I had stopped doing music for a while, completely just gave it up, and kind of broke my heart a little bit. Like that was just like I don't know, it was just kind of lost myself for a bit, and The Voice was an opportunity to really get back into it and be myself. So that's why I chose to do this time around. So I started singing when I was a kid, and my family was like really dysfunctional, and music was an escape for me. So that was how I started singing. Sang every day to my radio to get away from like mom and dad fighting and just baloney and all that stuff. But started doing country music like as I got in, you know, like as an adult in college, but I wasn't out yet. So I was struggling with knowing that this is who I was, and also pursuing a genre of music that's a little conservative. So it was kind of frightening in a way, which is also why I gave up music for a little bit. It's just like it seemed very difficult, and I got a lot of doors closed because of who I was. And yeah, so that I told myself I was going to come back and be me this time and do me, and I think that should be enough. So on the blind audition day, I got out there and I waved to my mom, and the song started, and there were parts of the song that I was like, they're going to turn around at for sure this part. If they don't this part, there's another moment that they might hear and they'll hit their buzzer. Well, that first moment kind of went away, and they hadn't turned yet. So first verse and the chorus came in and still hadn't turned yet. Well, there was the one note that I hit, and right at the end of the chorus, and it was Blake, Kelly, and Alicia turned at the same time, and then I saw that Blake was blocked, so someone had used their block for me, and then the very last note that I hit, Adam turned his chair, so I got a 4-chair and a block, and just completely shocked. I didn't expect that at all. I mean, I was hoping that maybe Blake might turn around because I'm country, but did not expect the rest of them to turn around at all. So far, her insight has been, it's been amazing. She shared confidence boosters, and, you know, like, keep your shoulders back and make sure you know that you're good enough to be here, and just like building you up as an artist, which has just been wonderful. I didn't expect that part of it. And then vocally too, she's sick. I mean, she's just amazing. It's been great.
My musical journey has been full of ups and downs, like I think a lot of people's. I've always persevered and always known that music is what I'm supposed to be doing. I was in Nashville for 8 years. I've gotten very close to getting, the recognition that I feel like I need and that I could have, but nothing's quite gotten me to that next level, and that's brought me here to The Voice to be able to share my story, my talent, and who I am with the world. The Blind Auditions was a memory that'll go down, in history for me. Kelly and Blake turned for me, and I think all through the process, I've been very open to who I might, choose. But when Kelly turned, and she turned after Blake turned first, and when she turned, though, and when we had she was trying to sell me to pick her, she had me. I don't know. It was just, I don't know if it was like a woman, kind of like woman-to-woman connection, female kind of thing. Her energy, she seemed so real. Blake was hilarious, I wouldn't have minded it at all going with him too. It was a tough decision, but I felt like Kelly got me, and I feel like I need somebody in my corner that's gonna help me, understand, who I am and what I'm going for. So with Kelly being a new coach on the team, it's been, I like her energy because she's very fresh in the show, and it shows, I also love her truth and honesty about, she's been here before. She's done a reality TV show, and she's walked through the same thing that I'm walking through and has had a very successful career doing so. And so I feel like she kind of speaks my language, when some of the things that she was talking to me about as I've gotten to talk to her is just getting out of your own way. And I love the concept of that because I can tend to get in my own way. But when I get out of the way, the magic happens. And I felt like when she, talked to me about that, I got it. I connected with her on that. Another thing that she gets on to me sometimes for is I close my eyes a lot when I sing. And I think I just go into this space of zoning out and getting into the song. I'm a storyteller, and so I kind of forget about everything else. And she's been, telling me I gotta keep my eyes open and look at the audience. So
performing on my blinds, it was so nerve-wracking because it wasn't like anything I've ever done, and that's what I love about The Voice. It's like they don't see you. It's primarily the voice. The first thing they notice is the voice. So it was really nerve-wracking. It's like everything has to be perfect. Like they can't look at me and oh, she's young, let's just, give her a little leniency. No, it's primarily what your voice sounds like. And it was so nerve-wracking going into that and knowing who the coaches were. And just to have Kelly turn around was just amazing. It was like, wow, all this hard work is not in vain. Working with Kelly has been just amazing. I've learned so much from her, and during one of our rehearsals, she even compared me to Whitney Houston, and that was huge. Okay, because honey, I look up to two people I hugely look up to, in every aspect of my artistry. I look up to Beyonce for dancing and singing and range and work ethic and everything. I look up to Whitney Houston for especially vocal techniques, because her sustainability and her simplicity of her voice is really what she's known for and what made her a huge artist. And also Karen Clark-Sheard, who was one of my first inspirations, because I grew up in the church. So looking up to her was the first person I ever looked up to. She was the first concert. Seeing Karen Clark was the first concert I ever went to. So she was a big impact on my life. But Whitney Houston, honey, I was just in awe that she saw that in me, because it's Whitney Houston, So having Kelly being on a competition show before is it's like she knows what goes on. You know, she knows all the the steps that it takes, and she knows what she's talking about when it comes to these competitions. So it's just an added bonus. Just like having Kelly as a coach, it gives me motivation. It's very inspiring.